are investing at a level in the economy that they will not lose money in.
Now, we heard from Republicans and Democrats, a lot of them, who said this bill was a bit of a necessary evil. It was the best they could do in terms of legislation in the time that they had allotted, which was basically as soon as possible. At the same time, let's not forget about the people who never came on board, who voted against this, because after all, there are 171 members of them in the House alone. Here's Congressman Brad Sherman, a Democrat from California.
Wall Street wants the $700 billion so bad they can taste it. To get it, they need two things. First, you create panic. Then you block alternatives. And then you herd the stampeding cattle toward passing a bad bill.
Many reasons that people have been opposed to this. Some people just thought the idea of a bailout, government putting money towards the financial markets, was a bad idea. Some Democrats who didn't like the idea that these tax breaks were not offset. Some who also felt that some of the tax breaks were tantamount to pork. But so let's talk about moving forward now, because although President Bush has signed this into law, as he did just a short time ago, we are expecting in the future there to be some hearings. How did the economic situation get so dire? And we're also expecting some members to go looking for things they couldn't get through in this bill, Christy.
Okay. Boy, what a complicated process. And boy, Wall Street isn't really reacting very favorably to it either, Brianna. We're going to go there next. But thank you so much for walking us through it. We appreciate it. So let's get you to Wall Street now. Stock prices took a tumble in spite of this bailout. The latest unemployment numbers didn't help either here. Employers cut payrolls by 159,000 just in September, and that is the 9th straight month of job losses. We have lost jobs every month this year thus far. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, you see it there, closing down 157 points at 10,325. Now comes the debate about the debate and some other politics. Senator Sarah Palin and Senator Joe Biden squared off for their only campaign face-to-face session. So how did the newcomer to the national scene do against a congressional veteran? Well, Candy Crowley looks at their performances.
Sarah Palin did not deliver perfection.
As Vice President, there's nothing that you have promised as a candidate that you wouldn't take off the table because of this financial crisis we're in?
There is not, and how long have I been at this? Like 5 weeks? So there hasn't been a whole lot that I promised.
But neither did she implode, repeatedly touching base with her regular gal persona, here decrying Wall Street's meltdown.
Let's commit ourselves, just everyday American people, Joe Sixpack, hockey moms across the nation. I think we need to band together and say, never again.
She was the newbie, but she went toe-to-toe on climate change, economy, and Iraq with a 35-year Washington insider.
Barack Obama's offered a clear plan. Shift responsibility to the Iraqis over the next 16 months, draw down our combat troops. Ironically, the same plan that Maliki, the Prime Minister of Iraq, and George Bush are now negotiating. The only odd man out here, only one left out, is John McCain.
Your plan is a white flag of surrender in Iraq, and that is not what our troops need to hear today, that's for sure.
84% of debate watchers said Palin did better than expected. That's according to a Snap poll from CNN and Opinion Research Corporation. But 51% said Joe Biden won the night. Polite and even warm toward Palin, Biden mostly debated the top of the McCain-Palin ticket.
I haven't heard how his policy is going to be different on Iran than George Bush's. I haven't heard how his policy is going to be different with Israel than George Bush's. I haven't heard how his policy in Afghanistan is going to be different than George Bush's.
She answered some questions, but not others. It may not have won her the night, but it did take control.
I may not answer the questions the way that either the moderator or you want to hear, but I'm going to talk straight to the American people. And
if nothing else, Palin seems to have quieted conservatives' growing concern she was not up to the job. The rest now is up to John McCain. Candy Crowley, CNN, St. Louis.
It's an emotional day for Senator Joe Biden as his eldest son, Beau, heads to Iraq. The senator spoke at his son's deployment ceremony in Wilmington, Delaware, saying that his heart's full of love and pride. Now, Beau Biden is Delaware's Attorney General, and he's also a captain and lawyer in the National Guard. His unit will have several weeks of training at Fort Bliss, Texas, and then it's off to Iraq. Now, Governor Sarah Palin also has a son serving in Iraq, and Senator John McCain's son returned from an Iraq tour just this past February. The abuse of power probe surrounding Governor Palin is moving forward. Yesterday, a state